If you're following along on this video tutorial series, you can just skip right over this one. Serious. I'd like to talk for a moment about why all video game tutorials suck, right? And I've bought countless books on video game programming, and I swear to God, I feel so sorry for the forests of trees that have died. So yet another idiot programmer can write another book, useless book. And of course, as the saying goes, those that can't do teach, and those that are not bright enough to teach end up on the faculty for some strange reason, right? So you got this guy, he's writing a book. I'll call him Dave, okay? And Dave's got this great big program that he's written, there's just loads and loads of code, and it's got all these bells and whistles, really cool. And in reality, Dave actually didn't write 99% of this program. No, he went on one of the programming forums and just made a nuisance of himself. And some guy named Igor Yashevsky actually wrote it because he's out there trying to invent fusion and save the world, and they got this dumb kid clogging up the forums asking a bunch of dumb questions about how to make aliens blow up. So about 2 o'clock in the morning, after several vodkas, he finally, out of the kindness of his heart, just writes a Tetris program off the top of his head. And he's like, oh, forget about exploding aliens. This will make him think. Okay, great. So now Dave's all excited. He's got this program finally that actually runs, and he goes in and tweaks a couple of numbers, and maybe changes the background from green to blue, and now all of a sudden he thinks he's some kind of computer whiz, and of course he's getting tired of his mother yelling at him all the time about how he needs to get out of the basement and go get a job and find a girlfriend. And he's like, I know, I'll write a book, and then I can impress my mother as to, my knowledge of computer science. So he's going to start out and write a book on his program now, and he's all excited, and he wants to impress the world about his vast knowledge of computing. So chapter 1, of course, he's going to talk about himself for a chapter or two, and then chapter 3 and 4, will be what is a computer. Yeah, like as if I didn't know. Like, why else would I be buying a book on computer programming so I can learn to play the electric guitar? And then chapters 5, 6, and 7, the complete history of computer programming. Who is Steve Jobs? And like, hey, if I wanted to know about computer history, I will go buy a book on computer history. I want to learn about programming. And here we are, 2/3 of the way through the book yet, and Dave has yet to write a single line of code. Okay, finally. He starts teaching you something. Okay, what is a variable? Okay, here's how to make a variable. Okay, what is a function? Okay, here's how to make a function. Okay, what is an array? Oh, okay, so here's how to make an array. Okay, there. Now that you know everything there is to know about computer programming, here is a 10-page long program utilizing everything I know about programming. Go forth and create. I swear to God, I have seen countless videos that do the same thing. They all get to about chapter 4 or 5 and flip out and throw the entire kitchen sink at you. And as somebody who has written a lot of programs and also written a lot of tutorials, I can tell you exactly why. Let's see, I'm going to go down here. Let's say there's a point in my program where I'm maybe using a for loop to access an array or something like that. Okay, Dave gets chapter 4 and he's teaching you how to make his program, and he's like, oh geez, I don't know how to teach them how to access the array if they don't already know how to use a for loop. And of course I can't teach them the for loop unless they already know this and that, and so Dave comes to a gestalt, right, where to him it's like impossible now to teach you one thing at a time. So he panics and just throws the whole program out there and go, there it is, take it apart, end of book, and then, and then of course, you there's something you got to download, and it takes an hour to download it, and then you try to run the program and you get error, and I'm like, well, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. No, if you get the second edition of Dave's book, there's some footnotes there that, by the way, Dave had a bunch of libraries and plugins installed on his computer, and if you don't have the same ones installed on your computer, none of this is going to work, right? I swear, and I have seen. There was a point where I bought every book I could get my hands on computer game programming, and not a one of them is worth the paper they're written on. Every programmer, tutorial writer does this, and hey, it literally took me over 2 years, my friends, to chart a course through the swamp. Programmers don't know it. Programmers don't use it. And hey, and I am very proud of the fact that finally I have found a way to teach you one thing at a time in a logical sequence. That's achieving the goal, without having to make some quantum jump and assume that you have some knowledge that I have not bothered to explain to you. Hopefully I can save you all the endless frustration that I have had to put up from one idiot programming tutorial writer after another. And we can all get on with our lives. It's not that hard, really, to write video games, and I swear, I asked my father-in-law, who's head of programming for Siemens, one of the largest electronics companies in Germany, why programmers could not make a programming language that was easy to understand and use. And he told me, if we did, we'd be out of a job. Sad but true, folks. So anyways, there you go. I hope I can make life easier on you. Go forth and create, my friends.